Brain of Britain, the nationwide general knowledge contest, chaired by Russell Davies.
Thank you very much. Hello, we're here in London again for this heat in the 2020 series of Brain of Britain. I'm joined by another keen quartet of quizzers, of whom at least one will be going through to the semi-finals after today's contest. Let's ask our competitors today to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name's Linda EMMETT. I'm a self-employed project manager from Cornwall.
Hello, I'm Mark HEPTINSTALL, a retired bank manager from Kent.
Hello, I'm Bill MUIR, a retired tax inspector from Swaffham in Norfolk.
Hello, I'm Dave Taylor, a retired transport manager from Sunderland.
And welcome all of you. The rules are the same as ever. We go around in alphabetical surname order, and I ask each of you general knowledge questions until you can't answer or you get one wrong, or until you've answered 5 in a row. If that happens, we award you a 6th bonus point. You have 10 seconds thinking time for each answer, and that time is up the moment you hear this. Remember, it's not just the winners who go through to the semi-finals, but also the runners-up with the highest scores across the series. So it really is worth trying for every point you can get. And having a punt even if you aren't sure of the answer. Many a semi-final place has been won on the strength of a couple of good guesses. The first round today starts with you then, Linda EMMETT. Which building in Britain contains a stained glass window bearing the inscription, "This house of peace and ancient memories was given to England as a thank offering for her deliverance in the Great War of 1914-18, as a place of rest and recreation for her prime ministers forever"?
Chequers.
Chequers Court, yes. You had to wait a long time for the clue, but it eventually came. What's the title of the novel by Bernardine Evaristo, which was the joint winner with Margaret Atwood's The Testaments of the 2019 Booker Prize?
Girl, woman.
Can't accept that, I'm afraid. Any more offers? No lights have come on. You're so close, and I'm sorry to be denying you for this, but it's girl, woman, other, and the other is rather important. Okay, Mark HEPTINSTALL, your turn. The Neckar, the Mosel, and the Lahn are tributaries of which major European river?
The Rhine.
Yes, they join the Rhine at Mannheim, Koblenz, and Lahnstein, respectively. Which British journalist and political commentator, who also presents a regular series on BBC Radio 4, writes novels under the pseudonym Sam Bourne? Out of time, I'm afraid. Does anybody read the novels of Sam Bourne? Apparently, yes, you do, but you can't remember who it is. Bill Muir's shaking his head. Well, no lights have come on, so I'll have to tell you it's Jonathan Freedland, Guardian journalist and presenter of Radio 4's The Long View. Bill Muir now. Which Greek island was the birthplace of the Duke of Edinburgh?
Corfu.
It was. He was born in a villa called Mont Repos, of all things. The ruins of the ancient city of Nineveh lie close to which present-day city in Iraq?
Baghdad?
No. Yes, Dave Taylor?
Basra?
Not Basra. Linda EMMETT?
Tikrit.
No. One more go. Mark HEPTINSTALL?
Mosul.
Mosul. You're right. Well done. A city that has suffered greatly in recent years, of course. Dave Taylor, in which of Canada's provinces will you find the capital city, Ottawa?
Quebec?
No. Mark HEPTINSTALL?
Ontario.
Ontario is the right answer, yes. That brings us to the end of round 1. Dave Taylor is yet to score. Linda EMMETT 1. Bill Muir 1. Mark HEPTINSTALL 3. Long way to go as we return to Linda EMMETT. In which long-running BBC drama series with a frequently changing cast is the main protagonist currently supported by characters named Yasmin Khan, Ryan Sinclair, and Graham O'Brien?
Holby City.
No. Dave Taylor's lights
Doctor
up.
Who.
It's Doctor Who, yes. They're played by Mandip Gill, Tosin Cole, and Bradley Walsh, respectively. Mark Heptinstall, your question now. The writer Tove Jansson, best known for the series of children's books in which she created the Moomin family, was born in which country?
Denmark?
No. Bill Muir.
Finland.
Finland. She was born and is buried in Helsinki. Bill Muir, your question. What's the title of the novel on which the original Blade Runner film was based?
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
By Philip K. Dick, yes, published 1968, well remembered. What short-lived government post, created by Harold Wilson in 1964, was first held by Frank Cousins and a few years later by Tony Benn?
Minister of Energy?
No. Dave Taylor?
Minister of Posts and Telecommunications.
No. Mark Heptinstall?
Postmaster General?
No. Linda Emmett? Go on, have a go.
Minister for Nationalisation.
No, it was Minister of Technology. It didn't last long, as heralded by Wilson's "in the white heat of the technological revolution" phrase. In October 1970, the Ministry of Technology was merged with the Board of Trade to form the new Department of Trade and Industry. Now, David Taylor, which father and daughter duo had a UK #1 single with the song Changes in 2003? Out of time? Now, Linda Emmett remembers.
Ozzy and Kelly Osbourne.
Is the right answer. Well done, yes. End of another round. And here are the totted up scores. Dave Taylor now 1, Linda Emmett 2, Mark Heptinstall and Bill Muir 3 apiece. Now, a little change for Linda Emmett, because some ballet music accompanies your next question. I'd just like you to name this ballet.
Swan Lake.
Not Swan Lake, no. Dave Taylor.
Coppelia.
Coppelia by Delibes. We heard part of the mazurka. Mark Heptinstall, on a standard UK Monopoly board, what's the first property you come to after passing go?
Old Kent Road.
It is, yes. There are so many versions now, you almost forget, but you didn't. What's the full name of the computer, voiced by Douglas Rain, that goes rogue in the Stanley Kubrick film 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Hal.
No, that's not the full name, I'm afraid. Does anybody remember what the full name was? I'm sure I didn't, and nobody's going to tell me. No, it was HAL 9000, 9000, in fact. Bill Muir, if you underwent tympanometry, which organ of your body would be being tested?
Your ear.
Your ear, yes. Edwin Hubble divided galaxies into 3 general classes: spiral, irregular, and which other?
Nebula.
No. Dave Taylor knows?
Bard
No.
Spiral.
No. Any more tries? Yes, Linda Emmett.
A large galaxy.
I think they're all pretty large. No, the answer is elliptical. They are elliptical. Dave Taylor. The great ruined Yorkshire monasteries of Fountains, Rievaulx and Jervaux were houses of which monastic order?
Cistercians.
Yes, they were. Sir Niels Olaf III is a penguin living at Edinburgh Zoo. In 2016, he was promoted to the rank of brigadier. In which country's army?
Norway.
Yes, you're right, I think. Olaf sort of pointed the way. He's their official mascot, but from 1972 onward, he and his 2 predecessors have been promoted upward from an original rank of Lance Corporal. What was the first name of the Regency wit and socialite known as Beau Brummel?
John.
Not John, no. Worth a guess? Yes, Linda Emmett.
Peter.
Not Peter. Any more guesses? Yes, Mark Heptinstall.
William?
No? Bill Muir?
Joshua?
No, George. George Brian Brummel, 1778 to 1840. But could have been anything, really, couldn't it? Here are the scores, which have evened up remarkably. Linda Emmett, 2. Everybody else, 4. Well done. And this is where we pause the contest for a few moments and give our competitors a bit of a breather as we try out a couple of questions that have been sent to us by a listener hoping to beat the brains. If you have ideas for teasers that might stump a future lineup, please do let us have them. If we select your questions and the brains can't answer them correctly, then you stand to win a prize. In a few minutes, I'll tell you how to get your ideas to us. Trying to beat the brains today is Matt Hadlington from Oldbury. Mr. Hadlington's questions have an animal connection. He asks first, in the Beano comic, what breed of dog is Gnasher, the companion of Dennis the Menace?
It's something manic. It's something.
Yes, black and hairy.
Yeah, but he's not a real breed from what I remember.
No, it's a something hound.
It's something hound, yes. Wire-haired.
Nashhound.
I don't like Ashford.
Try it. Go on, Dave.
Nashhound.
Well, it's shorter and brisker than the actual answer. He is, allegedly, an Abyssinian wire-haired tripe hound. Sometimes referred to as tripe terrier. I believe the instruction to the original artist was, draw Dennis's hair with legs.
Yeah.
Which is roughly what we've got, isn't it? Question 2, anyway. A pair of fictional creatures was created by the writer Don Marquis in his column for the Evening Sun newspaper in New York, namely Archie and Mehitabel. Mehitabel was an alley cat. What kind of creature was Archie?
He was a cockroach. Cockroach.
He was, well answered instantly, yes. He was a cockroach. He'd been a poet in a previous life, and he wrote poems on Archie's typewriter by jumping on the keys. Being a cockroach, he couldn't operate the shift key, so everything he wrote was in lowercase, yes. Touch of the E. Cummings about that, I think.
Yes.
But well done, Matt Hadlington. The brains couldn't answer both parts of your challenge, and that's all that was necessary for you to win the prize. So your book voucher will be with you in short order. We thank you heartily for your questions, and we salute you with this barking mad round of applause. I said I'd remind you how you can submit your own ideas for questions to Beat the Brains. It really couldn't be easier. You can use our email address, brainofbritain@bbc.co.uk, at any time. Please try and remember to include the answers in case our production team are having an off day and can't work them out. And if you don't have access to email or would prefer to send them to us on paper for any other reason, you can address them to BBC Brain of Britain, Dock House, Media City UK, Salford, M50 2LH. You can always send us more than 2 ideas and let us pick the ones we like the most, but do beware of basing your questions on entertaining-sounding urban myths. There's a lot of very dodgy information on the internet, and you'd be surprised how often we find questions just don't hold water in the light of basic research. Relaxation over then, fingers on buttons, and back to the contest proper. It's your turn again, Linda. What is the nickname of the Australian women's soccer team?
The Sheilas.
No. Dave Taylor?
Socceroos.
No. Mark Heptinstall?
Wallabies?
No. Any more tries?
Oh, go on. The soccer babes.
Bill Muir says so. No. I'll tell you what it is. I prefer Sheilas, mind you. It's the Matildas.
I knew it was got the same.
It doesn't sound very athletic somehow, doesn't it? I much prefer the Sheilas. Right, Mark Heptinstall, there's music for you now. In 1982, Sting had a minor but long-remembered hit with this song from the film Brimstone and Treacle. I'd like you to tell me in which decade the song was written.
Even when the darkest clouds are in the sky, you mustn't sigh and you mustn't cry. Spread a little happiness as you go by. Please try. What's the use of worrying and feeling blue? When days are long, keep on smiling through. Spread a little happiness till dreams come true.
1930s?
No. Dave Taylor.
1920s.
Yes, 1928 to be precise, originally written for the musical Mr. Cinders, composer Vivian Ellis, lyricist Clifford Gray. Bill Muir's question now: which American mountain in the Cascade Range, the highest in Washington state, has 3 major peaks named Liberty Cap, Point Success, and Columbia Crest? I'll accept the old name or the Native American name by which it's now recognized.
Mount Mackenzie?
No. Now, Dave Taylor.
Mount Houston.
Nope. Any more mounts? Yes, Linda Emmett.
Oh, St. Helena.
No. Mark Heptins
McKinley?
Nope. Mount Rainier, or Mount Tacoma, or Tahoma, according to the Native Americans. The explorer George Vancouver named it Rainier after a rear admiral friend of his. Okay, Dave Taylor. Which 2 politicians are mentioned in the lyrics of the song Taxman, the opening track of the Beatles album Revolver?
Wilson and Callaghan.
No. Linda Emmett?
Khrushchev and Nixon.
No. Anybody else? Yes, Bill Muir.
Callahan and Healy?
No. That's it. Yes. The answer is Harold Wilson and Edward Heath, referred to as Mr. Wilson and Mr. Heath, very politely on the record. End of a round. Linda Emmett still on 2, Mark Heptins 4, Bill Muir 4. Dave Taylor now 5. Very well. Returning to you, Linda. Which Mediterranean city with a name meaning new town was founded by the Phoenicians in 814 BC?
Venice.
No. Bill Muir?
Naples?
Nope. Yes, Mark Heptins?
Marseille?
No. Dave Taylor, have a go? Yes.
Syracuse.
No, it was Carthage. The archaeological site of Carthage, which is not far from present-day Tunis, was added to UNESCO's World Heritage List in 1979. Mark Heptins, which canal runs for 28 miles from Seabrook near Folkestone to Cliff End near Hastings?
Royal Military?
Yes, the Royal Military Canal, built as a defensive moat when Napoleon I threatened invasion of Britain. A Trinidadian performer called Lord Shorty is credited with first creating which Caribbean musical style, its name a contraction of soul and calypso?
Ska?
No, not that one. Bill Muir?
Calypso?
No. Yes, worth a try. Linda Emmett?
So-so.
No. Some of it is, but no. Any more guesses? Yes, Dave Taylor?
Calso.
No. It's Soca. Soca. S-O-C-A. Bill Muir's question. Time for a sound clip for you here. The writer of the following song sadly died in 2019. Have a listen and then put a name to him.
I don't need pleasure. I don't feel pain. If you were to knock me down, I'd just get up again. I'm the urban spaceman, baby. I'm making out. I'm all about.
Neil Innes?
It was. I'm the Urban Spaceman, performed by the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, featuring Neil Innes there, and it reached the UK top 10 in 1968, their most successful single record. Now, I'm rather embarrassed asking you this question. Which 2 organisations were merged in 2005 to create the government department HMRC?
The Inland Revenue and
And
Customs and Excise.
And Customs and Excise. Indeed. Righto, swiftly on. What do Vale Street in Bristol, Blake Street in Sheffield, Old Witch Road in Worcestershire and Gold Hill in Shaftesbury have in common?
Prime Ministers were born there?
No. Linda Emmett has a theory.
Hovis adverts.
No. Yes, Mark Heptins.
Railway stations?
No. And Dave Taylor.
None of them exists.
Sorry?
None of them exist.
That's not a bad answer, but I'm afraid they all do. And Linda Emmett was onto it, really, in a way. They are among England's steepest streets, along with Steep Hill in Lincoln,
Yes.
which would have given it away. The steepest in the whole of the UK is officially Ffordd Penllech in Harlech in Wales, which I'm not sure I would call a street, but we'll keep that quiet. Okay. Dave Taylor's question. Even though the 1953 Cup final is known as the Matthews final, after Stanley Matthews, a hat-trick was scored in that game by another player, still the only hat-trick in an FA Cup final. Who was that player?
Stan Mortensen.
Stan Mortensen was, likewise of Blackpool. When Mortensen died, it was said they'll probably call it the Matthews funeral. Which major German manufacturing company shares its name with the SI unit of conductance?
Siemens.
Siemens AG, in full Siemens Aktiengesellschaft, yes. In 1912, ex-President Theodore Roosevelt became the leader of the Progressive Party, and his new presidential ambitions were boosted by an extraordinary photograph showing him, as so often, in the role of a man of action. The photograph subsequently turned out to have been faked in an early example of photoshopping. What was Roosevelt apparently doing in the photo?
Wrestling a bear.
No. Mark Heptinstall?
Shooting a bear?
No. Linda Emmett?
Skiing.
No. One more try? No. No. Okay. Well, you're onto it, really. It was animalistic. He was riding a bull moose through a lake. The bull moose was the Progressive Party's animal symbol. That's why he chose that. End of a round. Linda Emmett still on 2, and Mark Heptinstall 5, Bill Muir 6, Dave Taylor 7. Very neat. Now, I fear, folks, this has to be the final round of the contest, so if you're going to make a difference, make it now. Linda Emmett, on becoming the first African-American ever to win the Academy Award for Best Actor at the ceremony held in 1964, which actor declared that it had been a long journey to this moment?
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier is right, accepting the Oscar for Lilies of the Field. The novel Wuthering Heights begins with a date in a diary entry which tells us that the novel opens in which year of the 19th century?
1834.
No, afraid not. Time for a guess, I think, by somebody. Bill Muir?
1837?
No. Dave Taylor?
1840.
No. Mark Heptinstall?
1848.
No, you're all a bit late. 1801. The opening line is, 1801, I have just returned from a visit to my landlord. Right, Mark Heptinstall, which politician wrote in his diary in 1966, I had a phone call from a man in Devon. He said he had been unable to buy any threepenny stamps the previous night, so instead bought sixpenny stamps and cut them in half with scissors. And would I, as Postmaster General, authorise them to go through the post?
Tony Benn.
Yes, it was Tony Benn. Ben later discovered that the gentleman was a stamp dealer. He went on to write, he actually sent out 600 of these half stamps, which he now claims are worth £15 apiece. I think he ought to be prosecuted. In 1987, a hitherto unknown system of Bronze Age mines, 4,000 years old, was discovered within the Great Orme, the limestone headland that overlooks Llandudno in North Wales. What element had been excavated from those mines?
Tin.
No, not tin. Bill Muir.
Copper?
It was copper. If that was a guess, it was a good one. And it's your question. On Murder, Considered as One of the Fine Arts, is a work by which 19th century journalist and essayist, a one-time associate of the Lake Poets, who's also noted for his writings on the effects of opium addiction.
De Quincey.
Thomas de Quincey is right. In 1977, the news quiz started on Radio 4. Who was its first presenter?
Ned Sherrin?
No. Dave Taylor?
Barry Took.
Nope. Linda Emmett?
Alan Corran?
No.
Simon Hockett?
No, it wasn't Mark Heptinstall. It was Barry Norman. I was there. In fact, I was in the pilot program before that. I'm still breathing. It's remarkable. Dave Taylor's question. Time for a sound clip for you now, and it's from a Disney film released some 80 years ago. You have to name that film.
Come on to the theatre. Hi diddly-dee, an actor's life for me. A high silk hat and a silver cane, a watch of gold with a diamond chain. Hi diddly-day, an actor's life is gay. It's great to be a celebrity, an actor's life for me.
Pinocchio.
Yes, as sung by Walter Catlett as Honest John. Which British battleship was sunk while at anchor at Scapa Flow in 1939?
Royal Oak.
The HMS Royal Oak, yes, the 8th Royal Navy ship to bear that name, which dates back to the restoration of the monarchy in the 1660s. Of the 280 or so Munros in Scotland, which is the only one on the Isle of Mull?
Ben. Tobermory.
No. Any more offers? Yes, Bill Muir.
Eriskay?
No. That's it, yes, that is it. Well, you were half right with Ben, that was true. Yes, Ben More, M-O-R-E. There is another Ben More in the Loch Lomond region, and Ben More Asint near Ullapool. But Ben More it was. Meaning we've reached the end of today's heat of Brain of Britain, and the final scores are these. Linda Emmett 3, Mark Heptinstall 6, Bill Muir 8, Dave Taylor 9. So it is Dave Taylor, whom we'll definitely be meeting again in the semi-finals later in the season. Well done indeed. And thank you, all four of you, for a very close-fought contest. From us all here today, thank you for listening. And join us for another Brain of Britain contest next week. Goodbye.